Hello everyone, it's been a while. Welcome back to Every Movie Has a Lesson. My name is Shanahan and I do a movie review website with a teacher's eye in mind, with the idea that every movie can teach a lesson. This week I have a new review for you for the other Chris Evans movie of 2014, Snowpiercer. Alright folks, what we have here for you is Snowpiercer. Now, this is a little bit of a smaller movie. I hope it's playing at some of the more larger multiplexes down by you. But Snowpiercer is kind of a movie that's been on the shelf for about a year. It's a Korean, technically a Korean film, even though it has an American and British cast. Chris Evans, better known to most of us as Captain America, plays a unlikely leader in a post-apocalyptic kind of scenario where the last kind of vestige of society all circles the earth on a perpetual motion train that protects the people inside that go from very high class to very low class, from the outer world that's kind of been taken over by a new man-made ice age. Kind of a high-end concept, definitely a post-apocalyptic feel to it. It's very, I consider the premise to be very daring, yet at the same time isolating, and that's probably on purpose. Overall, I found the movie's getting rave reviews from most critics. I can't be one of those people. I think it misses the boat. I maybe have seen a different cut of this movie than other people did. Supposedly there's kind of a full 2-hour, 20-minute cut going around. Some people say there's a 90-minute cut going around. I know I saw something more under 2 hours. I think it tries to pack too many things in to one movie. I like the big ideas it has. It's a good cast that's in there between Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton. You have, who am I missing here a little bit? Jamie Bell kind of plays a good sidekick. You have some memorable people here. A lot of them, in my opinion, are kind of just kind of wasted, are kind of underused for what they could really be. The movie kind of has definitely a very much of a cast system kind of approach to it. It's kind of a complicated movie to see. I definitely recommend. I mean, I can kind of study here a while and kind of speak to where the movie's going, but it just kind of would be, I can't say pointless, but it would just be a little too much. Definitely read my full review on the website. As usual, what I'm here for is to kind of report kind of the lessons part of it, so let me kind of hop right to there. If you're looking for something that's definitely different than your usual summer blockbusters, and definitely something with a little headier, a little more thinking, I can definitely recommend Snowpiercer for that niche audience there. It's a movie that definitely stuck in my head, a movie I probably need to give another try to. But I wasn't impressed. I felt like it copied a little too much from other movies. I felt like it kind of rambled where it was going to go. It's a very specific premise. They kind of stuff a lot of big ideas in, and they don't kind of drop them to the very end. It's a little bit of obscure, and the ideas of what and why, I think, kind of get lost in the style of it all. I didn't rate it very highly. I only give it a 2 out of 5. For me, it was a disappointing movie despite all the hype. I hope you maybe see something better than I did, but I think this one can wait for DVD. Alright, folks. Lesson number 1 is what I was trying to allude to and stutter through earlier, and the idea is this whole train setup here is kind of a microcosm for class warfare that happens so often during the collapse of society. So I'll say societal collapse. Once again, the premise is the Earth has kind of been struck with a sudden new ice age, killing most people on the planet and most life outside, as a matter of fact. Kind of a secretive inventor played by a star I'm not going to mention because it kind of spoils who it is. A secretive inventor has kind of made this train and set up kind of a caste system of high class and low class, and they all kind of populate together. They all supposedly kind of move the cogs in the wheels to keep each other going a little bit, although it's very thickly veiled. It's tough to say, but I know the message the movie's trying to say is the whole there's a natural envy and jealousy and dismissal there that kind of comes from both sides of classes in a collapse. Obviously the lower class wishes they had what the higher class has. The higher class at the same time, even with all their decadence, maybe doesn't have quite the freedom or fewer restrictions that maybe the lower class people do. I'm not saying this is Jasmine dating Aladdin in a Disney movie here, because this is a very bleak post-apocalyptic movie, but this little experiment here of a caste system aboard a train is definitely what's going on here. Let me get to lesson 2. Lesson number 2 is kind of taking lesson number 1 and going a little more specific to where this one's going. Bear with me here, this one's going to take a bit of time. Lesson 2 is the rich's illusions of justice and mercy. The rich's illusions of justice and mercy. Now, where I'm going here with this is, obviously, and you can see this in the trailers or otherwise, the upper class very much rules this train. They live like kings, while there's a tail section of the train that just absolutely lives in squalor. When the, kind of the enforcers, the government, if you want to call it that, the high-end people from the front of the train have to come back to the rear of the train, they feel like they're doing the rear of the train a favor. The idea that, you're here and you're surviving and we let you survive, and to them they think there's justice to kind of governing these people and having someone to boss around. At the same time, they think they're kind of granting mercy, whether it's deserved or not deserved, or even something merciful of them to really do when they rule with such an iron fist, and with the idea that there a lot of fear is there, a lot of indoctrination is there in terms of what we are going to tell you to do or feel. So there's definitely kind of that eliteness, that air of not really getting the ideas of justice and mercy, but in their heads they think they're doing it just right. There's definitely a piece to that whole class warfare in the movie Snowpiercer. Let me get to lesson 3. Alright, lesson 3, let me get this set up for you here. Also kind of stretches this microcosm idea of where this movie's going. To speak to it broadly, I could kind of go into more specifics, but I think I'd be spoiling a movie that has a lot of twists and turns. It's the notion of everyone having a preordained, forgive the bad penmanship, having a preordained place in a given society. Once again, what's going on here is this little, very much a social experiment going on. In one way, the inventor, operator, and ruler of this train is allowing this to happen and wants to see this happen, and this has been cyclical for several years, as most of the people have been on this train for about 18 years, of course, in the path of the story. So they're, obviously the older folks in this train kind of know what the society was before this. Some of the more children and people on this train, they know nothing of life other than this train. So with the class system that's kind of been set up, there's this idea that everyone's supposed to have a place, that the world needs dish diggers too, like the saying says. I think we all know that people can kind of come out of a certain place, that not, if you're born in a family of farmers, you're not going to be a farmer. The idea that maybe the brave and the civilized rise against the idea that everyone's place is determined and unchanged. We've seen, calm versions of people who break the system, and we've seen more rebellious ways that the system gets broken. We're watching a rebellious way here in Snowpiercer. So there's kind of those lofty ideas going. If you listen to these lessons and you liked what you heard, despite the movie kind of having a kind of feel to it, I would say give it a chance. Like I said, it is something unique. I think it is something worth seeing. I don't know if it's worth your $9 to see in the big theater, but definitely give it a chance on Blu-ray, DVD, or if it strolls your way on Netflix. Chris Evans gives a nice performance as a lead. It's nice to see him do something other than be a superhero and a big old abs-wearing hunk. So it's definitely a good heady mix of something different. Other reviewers, I think, can give you a better shake to this movie, but I couldn't. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, everyone, my work, reviews, and otherwise can be found at everymoviehasAlesson.com. go there soon here, as I've been trying to get through the slowness of June and July at the box office. Snowpiercer is one of those films that is a bright spot in a very slow June. July is off to a good start, and I hope to give you more of these Show Me reviews in the next couple days. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have a good night.